Hello and welcome to Let's Play FTL with Duhad and Lightingrabbit. Yay. So, FTL is a game about flying through space while the universe randomly throws crap at you, which will kill you and makes all your hard work basically meaningless. So, figured it's a pretty good game to talk over.
Yeah.
Well, live. So, okay, since, you know, do you have a preference on what ship we're gonna use?
Which ones do you have unlocked?
Basically everything but the rock and the crystal ship. And most of the secondary
they're
ones.
all crap apart from the crystal ships.
Okay, fuck it, we're gonna use the NG ship because the drones, the NGs are all just drones, like people.
Much like humans in the cogs of society.
Yeah. So I'm gonna call the HMS Real Life because that's what this game is.
Yeah.
Heady and mean like real life.
Yeah.
So
bullshit comes out of nowhere and strikes you down.
So Lightingrabbit, AR. Actually, I'm gonna call him Cabral because he can use his fake names all he wants, but I'm gonna still keep him calling him Cabral. And there's me, tiny little figure. For all you drones. I'm gonna play on easy because screw it, I don't want a challenge.
Yeah, there's too much of that in real life.
Yeah.
As we have previously discussed in multiple depression sessions.
Yeah, it rhymes. If
like
only rhyming
depressing
wasn't
candle
just a
week.
complete waste of time, it would be pretty funny. Unfortunately it is, so, you know. Congratulations wasting all of our time, Lightning.
You're welcome.
Anyway, so you were saying earlier about, let's see, we can manually search the wreckage for equipment and survivors. It'll probably just lead to us dying anyway, but screw it. Yeah, oh, look at that. When you try and be helpful, the universe screws you.
Yeah, literally, it's quite painful.
Brilliant, really.
What happened?
Well, just part of the ship exploded because we tried to be nice people and look for survivors. Yeah. Well, anyway. Yeah. Yeah, look, I can aid a civilian ship. Oh, and look at that. For my efforts, I'm now getting attacked by people with rocket launchers.
See, my problem
bullshit.
is that even in the gaming world, it just is like I went to a town recently.
Oh, my
by the
oxygen's
sea.
on fire. Yeah, how's that?
Well, like there were loads of concrete buildings, and the people just kind of lived out their lives there without leaving the place. And it was one of the most depressing places I've ever been to. It wasn't even that depressing to anyone else who I was there with, but I just found it really depressing.
It's just the honesty shining through. You're just appreciating how bleak the rest of existence or humanity or something or other is.
I can't seem to get away from that bleakness though. It's like wherever you go, you either go to the big city where nobody knows your name and you live out your whole life there and no one cares about you. That's depressing.
Yeah.
Or you live in a small village community where only 6 people actually know you and you never leave the place, and that's depressing.
Yeah, you have no impact on the world at large because you're just some...
Yeah, but you never have an impact in the world at large anyway, so it's still depressing.
So yeah, do you want to, be surrounded by shit, or do you want to, be surrounded by people who are shit, basically?
Yeah. You included, because you were just
well,
a shit.
you really are. Yeah, I mean, let's not delude ourselves here. You, the listener, as well as us, the talkers, are shit. So
we're all pretty shit.
So yeah, don't go going off going like, oh, you're right, people are shit. Like, no, you are shit too.
This is directly addressed to just you. We're being really harsh.
Yeah,
here. You are just as bad as everyone else.
Yeah, let's be completely honest here, people. You really are just absolutely awful.
I wasn't going to be as harsh as Duhad was, but he's just gone out there and said it, so I'll agree with him now.
Okay, hold on. My drones are being attacked by people. See, even out in space, everyone is an asshole. There's no one in space who is not kind of a prick.
Yeah, that's the way it works, isn't it? It's basically a mirror image of Earth.
It really is. I mean, what is space if not just the Earth, but in space, with less oxygen?
Yeah, space is probably better than Earth in some ways because there's not loads of people trying to constantly ask you.
Yeah.
Not even a say.
people asking you.
Yeah, they'll just ask you.
Well, that usually doesn't happen to me, but
No.
it just goes to show, people don't even care enough to ask.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a bit bad.
It's
yeah.
you're in a shit situation where just not even the assers are,
Arsers
their-
be arsing.
live. Don't talk to me about life.
Yeah. Honestly, sometimes I feel like Marvin from.
From Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Good book. That author's dead. That's miserable. He was fun. He was awesome. So of course he dies.
Yeah. It's a bit. Yeah. That's the problem with life, isn't it? That what the hell was the point of people being created if they automatically, instantly, from birth, their only goal is to die at the end of it? What was the point of making them in the first place?
Straight plain silly buggers, just God having a bit of a laugh.
Yeah, was that really what it was like? Honestly, he was playing silly buggers one day. He's like, right, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make some human beings, and no matter how happy they try and be, there will always be something that will make them depressing, and it'll probably be the death of one of their loved ones or the death of them.
So I get the choice of either killing sentient beings or selling my crew into slavery. Truly, these are the type of choices that I live for.
This is what I was saying though, human beings are too clever. Like I said, rolling around in mud and crap was actually one of the best times of our lives and our existence, because we've basically been de-evolutioning when we grew brains and started to become clever, because
now we're all miserable.
Yeah, because at least we had a coping mechanism in being ignorant and stupid when we didn't know anything. But now that we've got this intelligence, we've got no barrier. We just keep thinking of all these depressing things, and it just makes us worse as people.
Yeah.
It makes life less worth living.
Just every day, you realize how awful it is.
And not just what we think about, but the fact that we have to learn and become, have a certain level of intelligence to live with everyone else.
And the thing is,
put so much work in.
And this is the thing, we're winning. We won. We beat all the predators. We took over the planet. The only people who's a significant threat to us are one another. We have to play against ourselves just to have a bit of a challenge, and our reward for winning is being constantly bloody miserable.
Well, that's the thing, actually, if you think about it, it's true, human beings, the human race has won at life. If life was a game, we've won at it, because we don't have to fight for anything anymore. Everything is done really easily, and because of that, we've got nothing left to do. It's unlike a normal game where it ends, the credits are, roll, and then that's the end of it. The game ended, but we didn't. And we have to, we just sat here saying, well, what do we do now? We just have to kind of think and explain why the game was there in the first place.
Yeah. This is what this is the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Oh, look, Derpy Hooves has invited me to play Team Fortress 2. That would be fun. But I'm not going to do it because we're recording now. Yeah. So even those things that we do to make ourselves happy just end up making us miserable.
Yeah, because now you feel guilty about the fact that you're going to have to turn down a request to play a game with someone.
Yeah, a game I'm probably enjoying a lot more than talking about how miserable we are. But no, we've made a decision. We must live with it because we have codes of morals and stuff that...
Yeah, because we can't be hypocrites, because God forbid.
God forbid we'd be miserable bastards and hypocrites.
Yeah. Because that would be so much worse. Well, see, the other problem is that, well, there's lots of problems. Where do I even start?
I don't even know.
Yeah,
well, the thing is, I don't even know. Sorry, mate. He said sorry, M8. I don't even know. Anyway, the thing is, though, the worst part of all of this is even when you realize just how miserable it is and try and look for some glimmer of light and hope, like enlightenment thinking and universal suffrage and stuff, our greatest accomplishments are realizing that we were being complete dicks to one another for the longest time and thinking, we should probably stop that. Really.
And we didn't.
Yeah, really, we're really just kind of bastards at this point, and we should really stop doing that.
I was going to bring up that French thing you said.
Which French thing I said? I said a lot of French things.
Well, basically, there was that French thing.
Oh, yeah,
Vietnam.
Vietnam. Yeah, so, history lesson for you out there in YouTube land. The reason America in the Cold War went to war with Vietnam was we were assisting the French. The reason we were assisting the French was because after the German occupation of France, the Vietnamese people, the French were fairly racist at this point, and the Vietnamese people were basically like, hey, you guys just got invaded and conquered, and you know how much it sucks to have a foreign occupying force in your land. Wouldn't it be cool to sort of let us have universal suffrage and create our own independent nation? One that is built on the ideals of, universal suffrage for all people and, total, free, equal rights for everyone, men, women, children, foreigners, everybody. And the French said, no, we really don't think that would actually be fun at all. Honestly, we're going to start brutally repressing you. And then the U.S. was like, we could, stand up for our own morals, but, who doesn't love the French? Really? The French are just so wonderful. Why work against them when we could work with them? Now, so we end up in a bloody conflict, fighting against our own principles, forcing Vietnam to turn to Soviet Russia to defend themselves from us, because of the French. French.
We've got a second history lesson coming up from me, if I can add on.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. You're English. You know a lot about the French and their duplicitous ways.
So basically, if we go back to World War One, the end of World War One, France was one of those people who, because the war was on their land, they were like, right, we are the prime supporter for making them pay back loads of reparations and all of that sort of thing, being really harsh to them, limiting their army, etc., which was what the Treaty of Versailles was. Now, using that, they basically, the reason Hitler got into power, one of the many reasons, was that he used the idea that the Treaty of Versailles was very unfair. So people voted him into power, and then World War II happened. And the only reason the Treaty of Versailles was there, for one of the things, was because France pushed it so much and really wanted it to be harsh.
So in other words, World War II is the fault of the French.
Yeah, I blame every single death in World War II on the French.
So yeah, hear that, Germany? You're cool. We're all good now.
No, I don't mind Germany. Germany's fine. So there's that, and then there's Vietnam. So basically, France has caused more problems than it has ever solved. Because in World War II, after helping to start the war, they then gave up as soon as they were invaded and did nothing to help, apart from
Well, to be fair, that would have required effort.
Yeah, that would require effort on France's part.
Yeah, which, that would be kind of asking a bit much. Let's be fair here. We kind of are expecting quite a lot from, them in that regard.
Honestly, though, that whole period in time is just the French messed up everything. And they never apologised.
Yeah.
Because they thought they were in the right the whole time, but they would with their warped view of life.
Yeah, they are French. You do have to just assume that they are going to assume that they're always in the right.
And someone's probably going to bring up the whole idea of, English people are kind of French because the Normans invaded in 1066, but that's different because they invaded us. They weren't capitulators back then. Yeah. They actually were useful for something, even if that was warmongering.
Yeah, at least that's something. The French actually had to get someone who was outside of France. Yeah, Napoleon was not actually French. He was from, Caprica. In order to actually stop being shit at war. They were good at it while they were still the Franks, and then they changed their name and started being crap. Sure, you can bring up a whole bunch of situations where they're actually not crap, but you know what? Those don't count because, the one everyone remembers is Napoleon, who wasn't actually French. So really, that's...
The fact is that, this whole thing about him being short, the only reason people think he's short is because we didn't convert the measurement over, because France had to have their own special French measuring system, which was actually admittedly just disgusting, and therefore no one would ever conceive
No reasoning
changing it and
person.
converting it into, you know, a reasonable, civilized unit of measurement.
Yeah. Which, yeah, honestly, it's really pretty despicable. You know,
It's disgusting.
it's
I don't know what's wrong with
it's
the
really
French.
bad. I mean, really, France, really.
Honestly, honestly, if I had to put my finger on why the world is so bad today, I'd say that at some point it would link back to the French.
Like literally anything in the world that is wrong right now can be linked back to the French.
I honestly think that you can link anything in the world back to the French and their capitulations and their defeats and their retreating. And yeah, it's disgraceful. I don't know how they sleep at night.
I don't even. Probably on a pile of orphan tears. I don't even know how you could do that, but you know, really, it's France. They probably devoted scientists just to figuring that one out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I know the French, and I do,
Yeah, you are
I'd probably
English.
sleep on garlic bread
Oh, God, no
and
wonder
that
they.
disgusting 3-year-old cheese.
God, that's despicable, really. I mean,
See, they probably sleep on giant quantities of food, and then when they actually eat, instead of eating those giant quantities of food, they pay £50 more just to eat a tiny plate of the stuff.
again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Who wouldn't want to pay to eat less French food?
Yeah.
I mean, they may be horrible, dirty, you know, creepy people with no sense of dignity, honor, you know, courtesy, or anything else that any civilized people would have, but they're not entirely stupid. They know what is inedible garbage served on a tiny platter.
Well, you say that. They do eat snails.
True. That is something that is entirely true and entirely within context.
Yeah, it's entirely within context. It's definitely not anything that would have been made up, or you know, it's not.
Yeah, no. See, it's truth. It's hard science.
You know, frogs' legs, all that
Yeah,
sort of
yeah,
stuff. It's
It's scientifically provable. Go to France and it's just all over the place. Like they have buckets of the stuff. Ugh,
yeah,
terrible.
yeah. I mean, it's a real shame, to be honest.
It really is. I mean,
It's so disgusting.
you end up having to look at this world and say, like, man, the world is just absolutely garbage, and the French are in it. Just, ugh.
I mean, honestly, if it were up to me, I'd say just nuke the place and have done with it.
Yeah.
Now, you may think that's harsh, but after what we've just discussed, how can you not think that?
Really, we have provided the ultimate argument for why we really should just nuke the French.
I mean, they're a problem. I mean, recently in the news, the ex-French Prime Minister, who I believe said something along the lines of England will pay for going against the Eurozone. I don't know what they were thinking of doing to make us pay. Maybe they were going to try and introduce the Treaty of Versailles again, or surrender all over us. I don't know. But the point is that the fact is, after saying that, after he resigned as president, he was going to come over to England because the tax was cheaper.
Well, let's be fair here. I mean, the exact same thing happened with, what's his name? The French.
He retreated
general.
from his own country.
Yeah, it's a proud tradition in France. I mean, like the guy in World War II, the French. I can only say Monty, but Monty was like the British field marshal in the Africa thing in Market Garden and all that.
Yeah.
Who was it? Who was the French guy? Who was?
Oh, no one remembers his
I
name.
mean, it doesn't matter. The point is, he to retreat to England. You know, it was like Germany beat his country. Instead of going down with the ship or fighting with the resistance, he's just sort of like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to go to England and bitch about how long it's taking to get my country back.
See,
Really?
I'll give them props. Like, there were some French people who were probably born in different countries who helped with the resistance, because they can't have been full on
It
French.
couldn't have
there's
been
no-
justified. Honestly, I'd be surprised if it was like 50% French.
I mean, to be fair,
yeah.
hiding in holes is what they do best.
It
but
is, but you know, they had to do the attacking part as well, and honestly,
Yeah.
that just doesn't seem particularly likely, really.
No. Oh well.
Yeah.
You know that, like,
It's depressing. Again, you know, we live in a world that constantly shits on decent people while allowing the French to continue being French.
And see, in a way, that's one of the things that annoys me is when people say, like, you know, yeah, maybe they have only just figured out because they're younger, but, you know, people say, oh, it's weird, isn't it, how there are rich people who don't deserve it and poor people who do, and all of this sort of thing.
Yeah.
But it just reminds all the people who figured it out, like,
Years
eons
ago.
ago,
Yeah,
how annoying it is, and therefore they get annoyed at that person who brought it up again, like it was some sort of big revelation.
it's like, congratulations, the world's shit, and you managed to figure that one out. The rest of us already figured it out, and we're really just,
like, instead of being nice about it, I was genuinely considering just saying, no,
like, you're just a
shit
terrible
happens, get over
person. Shut the hell up.
I can't deal with this anymore.
Yeah.
So yeah, that happened.
Yeah. I would have. I'm like, yeah, did go to hell. You are
Yeah.
literally measurably
You are
a
the
bad
epitome
person.
of everything I despise.
Yeah.
I hold you highly in contempt.
It's a contemptible way of being, you know, acting like you figured out something that everyone's already managed to figure out. It really is just...
I mean, we're pioneers.
Yeah.
No one else has spoken out this freely against the French for fear of retribution. You know,
Yeah,
the French might genuinely, not themselves, but
Well,
they'll hire
no,
someone else to
yeah,
come and whack
we'll
it.
get someone who isn't French to come and, kill us. But here's
Yeah.
the thing. We are brave enough to stand up and say the French suck. And we should be rewarded for that, honestly. I mean, the thing is, the universe won't, because the universe is crap. But we really should. I mean, we are really just that brilliant.
Here's something. It's not technically in the rules. You can't not do this. But France got some of their soldiers in the Olympics to like do the 100-meter sprint, and the only reason they're so good at it is because every time someone fires the starting pistol, they run away.
Yeah, they just assume that
They assume they're
the
under
Germans
attack.
are back.
Yeah.
And then,
You know, so it's so sort of. I mean, they actually this year, at the London Olympics, they actually got a German guy to pull the starting pistols trigger.
just so that they'd have an advantage.
Yeah. And that is why
Mickey
France
buggers.
would have done so well in that race if they hadn't been rubbish. Because, as
Yeah,
you
'cause-
were saying to me before, the finishing line with the white tape, he actually. Props to him. He does know how to sew very well. He got out a needle and made it into a white flag and started flailing it about.
Yeah,
But of
I
course
mean,
he
admittedly,
lost.
yeah. I mean, like, we're not racist. Clearly, we're giving respect to the French. They are very good at making flags to surrender with.
We're being, we're being open-minded about this here,
Yeah.
but they're just disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, it's not racism if it's provable scientific fact. I mean, that's why no one questions social Darwinism, because it's provable scientific fact. Not
there's
social
nothing-
Darwinism, because that's horrible and racist.
Yeah.
But when applied to the French, it's just true.
Yeah. It's survival of the fittest, and their method of survival, not that they're the fittest, but their method of survival is just running away, and unfortunately it works very well.
Yeah. Hence why there's... How many French people... are there a lot of French people? Oh, AR died.
How many? There's too many.
Yeah, well, obviously. I mean, that guy goes without saying.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, AR's dead.
How dead?
Yeah, I don't know. I think he died at some point in an event that I wasn't even paying attention, and he just died, because that's how it works. We haven't actually talked to him in, like, a week. As of time of recording, like, we legitimately have not talked to him in a week. We need all sorts of things from him, but, obviously he died in space, so really...
I mean, we're assuming that he's dead. That's the thing, like,
it's the only logical outcome.
Assumption.
And, that's just the way it is. 1 minute you're alive, and the next minute you're dead in space. And no one's entirely sure how you died,
But it
or
was
why you were in
with the
space.
French.
Probably had something to do with the French. But yeah, no, now he's just, like, he was a YouTube commenter, podcaster, friend. Now he's just space debris.
Yeah.
All because of France, probably.
It happens. Well,
Yeah.
I need to go and have some sustenance before I waste
well,
away like
yeah.
the rest of the human race.
God, I wish I could just waste away like the rest of the human race. Yeah, it's so
It'd be
good.
nice, wouldn't it? But it's a necessary evil.
Yeah, well, I guess we can always just come back to this whenever.
Yeah, let's do
Doesn't
it.
matter. Anyway, we'll talk to y'all next time, if you're even
Yeah.
there. Yeah,
I'll see you later.
whatever.